Saturating cold. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Lieutenant Colonel William Bill Kilgore. Apocalypse Now. The funeral home was rigid. I felt panicked as we began the endless walk to the viewing room. I squeezed the blood from my sister's petite hand in nervousness, but she didn't complain. Opening the door to the dreary, virtually empty room, I fixed my eyes on Steve. I gasped when I saw him and took a step back. "You can do this," my sister encouraged. We took very light steps, as if moving loudly would wake him. My heart withered, and beads of nervous sweat formed on my forehead. A dark blue linen blanket was draped over his body. The tautness of his life was gone, and the weight of death was heavy upon him. I suddenly felt like I was within a chasm of misery. He lay before me, rigid like a marble statue. I knew the body before me was Steve's, but he didn't look enough like the man I had once loved. I gently placed a hand on his forehead, so smooth but cold. The bitter reality stunned me, and I told my sister I needed to be by myself with him. I felt clouded with doubt and had to be sure. This could all be a clever ruse, and he might be alive. My fingers trembled as I gently lifted the upper corner of the blanket, searching for his much-loved tattoo. That gorgeous writing would appear on the real Steve. He had proclaimed his love even when we lived apart. As I slowly pulled down the blanket, my heart sank when I saw the gray-black ink. I looked in horror. Kyra. It's really him. Under the cut-rate, flimsy blue coverlet, he was literally zipped in a heavy, clear plastic bag with only his torso and face exposed. My heart turned as cold as Steve's body. My raw heart and heavy spirit were proof that I could not wish this pain away. Alone with him, I wanted to start talking, but I found it insufferably difficult to know what to say to a dead man. "I feel like you have just killed me," I managed to murmur. I leaned over and softly kissed his ice-cold bluish lips. I could feel the stiff bristles from his unshaved chin. I was distraught at how cold his mouth felt. I could never remove that cold from my lips. I was a hot mess, inconsolable and angry at the same time. The emotional sparring was muddying my sensibilities. What is haunting me? Why me? Steve wouldn't accept responsibility, but I had to, for the children who depended on us. I had no choice, as usual, but to grieve later. I cried more, but not as much as I wanted to. I had to be the mother and maintain consistency for my daughters. I had to manage the precious lives of 2 little girls under 5, both from different deceased fathers, both drowning in confusion and pain. Another suicide, more death, more pain all over again. How is that even possible? Is God punishing me? I felt like a black widow, not because I meant to hurt anyone, but because I felt like I was cursed. I was struggling with massive guilt. I needed my mom. I don't know why, but I ached for her. I wanted her so badly that one day I frantically searched for the Ziploc freezer bags that contained her shirts. I wanted to smell her. She didn't die in the shirt, but she wore it only days before. I opened it eagerly and inhaled deeply, but nothing. She was gone. Her scent had faded, and my heart dropped. I felt alone. I couldn't even smell her. Even if I had once desired to be, I was not dead. If I wasn't occupied with my girls or working, I found idle mental labor, anything to buy comprehension time to soak this in. Too many days and nights, I was curled up on the bathroom floor with my fingers in my ears like a child. I was shielding my ears from the reality of motherhood. Some nights I could hear the cries of the girls over my own.